Okay, Cap Holly, thank you very much. Another gorgeous day here at the ballpark. No complaints really about the weather all week long, and the Cubs 5-0 on this homestand.
Yeah, this is a change of plans kind of day with the weather, with the pitching matchup. Why not be at the ballpark? Cubs playing great baseball. It's gotten to the point now where when they lose, it's kind of a random event where you're like, what was that? It's almost like it's scripted. Day after day, they find a way to win, and usually it's just because they pitch so well, dominant starting pitching. The bullpen the other day in the first game of this series was outstanding. So one way or the other, they're getting it done.
John Lester, let's focus in on what he accomplished yesterday. A 102-pitch, 9-inning complete game, and he no-hit the Giants into the seventh, although the Giants hit some balls pretty hard.
Yeah, it would be hard to describe that outing as dominant. Obviously, the end result was, but a lot of hard contact lineouts from the Giants that were swinging early, and that's what allowed John to be so efficient and end up pitching that complete game. He lost the no-hitter on that home run by Hunter Pence on a changeup that cut it back over the plate a little bit on him. But outstanding effort from Lester. Second complete game of the year for Big John. Gives the bullpen a chance to cool their heels and regroup for today's game.
Our Lowe's home field advantage. You see the line on John Lester. Trevor Brown, who caught yesterday for the Giants, he said that curveball was really in the back of our mind all day. I talked to Chris Bosio, the Cubs pitching coach, today, and he said really didn't use the curve that much. They kind of went in the opposite direction of what we saw in San Francisco in May. Let's hear from the lefty.
They really kept our defense on our toes today, and guys made some great plays. Dex in center. Riz had a nice pick. It just seemed like there was, kind of everybody was contributing throughout the game. So our defense has been fun to watch all year, and it makes our jobs a lot easier because we know that we can just throw the ball and let them hit it, and we know those guys are going to make plays. Yeah, I mean, you go through the first inning, you think no hitter. I mean, it's anybody that tells you different is lying to you. I mean, every time you go out there, when you haven't given up a hit or you don't have any base runners. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously on everybody's mind. I'd rather have a ring. I'd rather. Individual stuff is obviously really cool and it's nice, but those World Series trophies look nice on your mantle too. So I'd rather have those.
So confirming that he was thinking about the no-no, and back to what Chris Bosio told me, he really gave Mike Borzello a lot of credit. He looked at that series against the Giants in San Francisco in May, and I think the Giants were kind of waiting for cutters and curveballs. They were getting a lot of sinkers and changeups.
Yeah, well, you don't survive and thrive in this league as long as John Lester has without being smart and being able to adapt. And obviously they put together a very solid plan, and then he and David Ross went out and executed.
We'll talk more about the pitching matchup a little later, Bumgarner and Arrieta, but how about the hitting matchup? These two guys might be the top hitting pitchers in the league.
Silver Slugger, in my mind, it's probably Arrieta, but Bumgarner has the reputation, so maybe he ends up getting it. That's not that important for a pitcher, but these two guys, they love to swing the bats. It should be fun. The ideal situation here today is these guys both go the distance, both have great at-bats, and we end up seeing a 3-2 Cub win.
Again, the Cubs 5-0 on the homestand. They've now won 9 in a row here at Wrigley Field. 50 up and just 19 down in the friendly confines. When we come back, Kelly Kroll will preview this matchup. Cubs having a great week here at the ballpark. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field, your Coors Light game report. A marquee pitching matchup this afternoon. Jake Arrieta and Madison Bumgarner getting ready to face off here at Wrigley Field. The reigning Cy Young winner trying to follow up John Lester's impressive complete game 3 hitter. Of course, you got Kyle Hendricks sporting the best ERA in the league. A trio of legitimate Cy Young contenders this season, and it has been that starting pitching, Joe Maddon says, that has been setting the tone for his offense all season long.
The run differential. The run differential for us is really because the starting pitching has been so good. We would probably have a good run differential regardless, but the starting pitching has really permitted this all to happen. They've permitted the bullpen to not have to throw as many innings. We had that one hiccup before the All-Star break. I'm here to tell you everybody was fatigued at that point. They caught their second win. Now they're looking like they're supposed to. The introduction or the injection of the sixth man on occasion, I think, helps also. At that point, we had no off days. We're finally getting some off days. All those things matter.
Yeah, take a look at those numbers Maddon was referring to. The Cubs' run differential this season, 224. The closest team in that category, the Nationals, at 144. That's 80 runs right there, separating those two. Very remarkable. And as Joe said, it all starts with the starting pitching. Well, yesterday's starter, John Lester, remarking on Anthony Rizzo after the game. Yesterday marked the 8-year anniversary in which the first baseman learned he was in remission. Coincidentally, yesterday was the same day that MLB held a league-wide effort to raise awareness for childhood cancer, something Lester and Rizzo hold dear to their heart. And Lester pretty impressed with the young slugger and the ambassador he's become.
I met him a long time ago when he was 18 and first diagnosed, and to see him, all the baseball stuff is great, whatever. I mean, that's, that's also cool, but I like what he's done, what he's grown into as a man and as a person. And, this guy, I think he does 3 or 4 events a year. It's a lot of time. I do one, and I know how much time that takes for me to do. So it's just really cool. A lot of guys that age don't think about that stuff, So for him to put that effort in, that time, that's pretty special. And, it's definitely a good guy to have here in Chicago, to keep raising awareness for it.
Rizzo with his kickoff for cancer events and all funding his Anthony Rizzo Family Foundation. Well, let's step aside for the color guard and our national anthem as we get set for the Cubs and Giants here on CSN.
At this time, please remain standing and join Jackie King as she honors America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red
CSN Chicago is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Ford, inviting you to check out their fuel-efficient lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
Well, this place is full already. Nobody wants to miss the first pitch. It's a pitching matchup you rarely get to see. A couple of Cy Young contenders in the National League. Madison Bumgarner has had very good success against the Cubs in his career. And Jake Arrieta, same goes for him against the Giants.
Yeah, and we saw Bumgarner back in May in San Francisco. He was very good in that start. Likewise, Arrieta, outstanding work in his start against the Giants up in San Francisco. Wind is blowing in, so we anticipate a well-pitched game here today. Bumgarner of late has struggled a little bit. He's got an ERA above 6 over his last 3 starts. Arrieta, last time out against Pittsburgh, ended up allowing 6 runs, but usually when that happens, he bounces back with a solid effort. Bumgarner, 4-pitch mix. Not a real hard thrower. The big lefty gives you some weird angles. Good slider, good curveball, great competitor. And both these guys really good against both right and left-handed hitters. That's how you get to the top of the pack among major league pitchers.
They have combined for 5 home runs at the plate as well. They do it all. A couple of aces will go at it. Coming up next. Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Wind blowing in again today, not nearly as hard as the last couple of days. The Cubs have won all 5 they've played on this homestand. It's game 3 of this 4-game holiday weekend set against the wild card leading Giants. And again, a great pitching matchup this afternoon. Madison Bumgarner for the Giants, Jake Arrieta for the Cubs. So JD, as we get started today, the Cubs are 40 games over 500. They've got a season high 16.5 game lead in their division. This game means a lot more to the Giants. The Giants are actually fortunate. Just about everybody else around them lost last night.
Yeah, including the Dodgers. So they remain 2 games behind Los Angeles for the for first place in the NL West. Yeah, these are very important games for the Giants. Cubs, they're just kind of making sure everybody stays rested, stays sharp as they get ready for the postseason. They have a comfortable lead over the Nationals for the best overall record in the National League. Giants just percentage points better than St. Louis in the wild card race. I'll check that. They're what? Game and a half better than St. Louis.
3.5 ahead of third place New York. And as you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, it's kind of odd to say, but the Cubs playing spoiler because of their big lead.
Yeah, it's weird. Normally you think of a spoiler as a team that's been out of the race for months and trying to knock off teams that are in playoff contention. Cubs, the best team in baseball, have a chance to make life miserable for the Giants, and so far this weekend they've done that.
30-year-old Jake Arrieta will face the following Giants. Southwest starting lineup. It has been a pretty cold series for them. They've hit 103, 6 out of 58 so far in the set, and that included an 0 for 40 at one point. Span, Pagan, Posey at the top, as we've seen this entire series. Pence has homered twice so far in the set. Brandon Crawford, the shortstop. Joe Panik playing second. Brandon Belt back in there playing first. Nunez, the American League All-Star, plays third, bats eighth, and Bumgarner, the pitcher, hits ninth.
Cubs defensively brought to you by Arby's. Jorge Soler was in the original lineup. He scratched. He's got an ingrown toenail. So Joe had to move some things around. He inserted Tommy La Stella into the lineup. He's at third. Russell, Baez, Bryant round out the infield. The outfield, Caesar, Fowler, and Zobrist. He says I'm not flexible. I can do the infield before the outfield. Wilson Contreras is the catcher. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is the National League wins leader, Mr. Arrieta, on for the 27th time. He's 16-5 with a 2.84, that 2.84 ERA. Good for sixth best in the National League. The 185 batting average against, tops in the National League.
Set the umpires for you. Dan Bellino, who went to Loyola Academy in Wilmette and then Northern Illinois. Has a law degree as well from John Marshall Law School. He gets the plate. Phil Cuzzy at first. Adam Hammery, MI, is at second. And Tom Hallion, the crew chief, at third.
Something fitting about an umpire having a law degree. The arbiter. There's a pink bunny. Kind of. Huh.
Interesting.
He's either got a great sense of humor or he lost a bet.
Denard Span will lead it off. And the first pitch is a strike. Fastball 93 from Arrieta.
Giants yesterday were swinging pretty early against John Lester. So what kind of approach they take today here against Arrieta?
71 degrees in east breeze at 9. So probably feels like upper 70s, maybe even 80 in the sun. And, in the shade, just ideal. Arrieta's 0-2. Try it again. That ball hit the dirt.
He ticked it.
Yep. And just got a piece of it.
This would have led to a big fight on the playground. That's why we need umpires.
Couldn't see that he made contact, but you could hear it.
Yeah,
I heard it.
It looked like nothing there. Span able to survive for one more pitch before dispatched to the Giant dugout. Quick scouting report to Buster Posey on the way back. Jake pitched against the Giants on May 20th. He went 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 run, walked 2, struck out 8. Threw 111 pitches. My takeaway from that game was that he was really good, but they really battled. A lot of long ABs, fouled off a lot of pitches. They stayed in the hunt.
Strike called on Angel Pagan.
And that's kind of who they are as a team. They take a lot of walks. They strike out less than anybody in the league. Line drive hitters. They don't hit a lot of home runs.
But strikes here early. Only game going on at the moment. Some late afternoon starts, including Houston at Texas and the Cardinals at the Reds.
Here comes Uncle Charlie.
Contreras was ready to fire to La Stella.
Yeah, and for good reason. It could have been called strike 3. Little backdoor breaker.
Deposited into the right field corner. And Pagan settles in at second base. That was a hanging curveball. A 1-out double for Pagan. It'll bring up Posey.
Yeah, I think he wanted to bury this breaking ball down towards his back foot. Never got it there. Pagan cuts it off, and as did Zobrist in right field. Otherwise, Pagan probably gets to third.
Posey back behind the plate. Played first yesterday. He fouls off. I don't know what to make of this. Probably just coincidence, but it's pretty incredible, the numbers. Arrieta's last 8 starts against California teams. He's allowed 1 earned run. 7-0 with a 0.15. That's insane. And a lot of that work done on the road in California, including the no-hitter in Los Angeles last year. Analyze that.
Yeah, good luck trying to figure out the why behind that. I mean, he's been really good overall, but this is, you know, what he's done against the teams from out west.
Little did the mamas and papas realize, what, 50 years ago, that they would write the headline for that graphic.
Well, he's a Texan, you know, and Texans, maybe it's still Californians.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Although he's got a little, you know, he's got that Cali vibe about him. He's an Austin guy. He's into yoga.
There's Hunter Pence. Did you know, California Dreamin', it was written by John and Michelle Phillips, but Barry McGuire.
Eve of Destruction?
Yes, originally recorded that tune.
I did not know that.
Pence has homered in each of the first 2 games, broke up John Lester's no-hit bid with 2 outs in the 7th yesterday, and he's hit in 17 in a row here at Wrigley Field.
.385 over his last 11 ball games. That's 15 out of 39. A couple doubles, couple homers.
On the belt below, there's more sock than pant, which you don't really see very often. It's more like a wide receiver in the NFL. That was the homer off Montgomery Thursday night, and then off Lester on a changeup yesterday.
You saw where that one off Mike Montgomery landed, and that was against a very strong breeze.
16 pitches for Arrieta, 12 strikes, and a lot of quality strikes.
Yeah, and normally when you see him come out of the chute like that, he's going to have a really good day. Last time out was a bit of an exception. He was clean. Faced the minimum through 3, allowed the solo home run in the 4th to Josh Bell of the Pirates, so he looked like he's in great shape. Just 1 hit, 1 run through 4, and then ended up allowing 6, tying his season high.
Bounce to third. LaStella backhands, high throw, gets by, and the Giants will grab the lead as Pagan scores. 1-0. Be an error on LaStella.
Gets the ball in good shape. His front foot slipped a little bit, and I think that just messed up the whole play. Watch his front foot start to kick out on him. He loses his sense of balance. Still has to get that ball over there in a hurry with Pence going down the line.
So an unearned run. And now Brandon Crawford, the shortstop. Career .315 here at Wrigley Field. 1 for 8 with a double in the series. And he grounds to the shortstop, Russell. He'll take it right to the bag, beats Pence, and that's the inning. An unearned tally. Giants 1. Cubs coming up against Mad Bum. Beverage Depot, and if Dexter Fowler gets a hit, Benny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Cubs just found out. I just found out. They got the pitcher and player of the month for August. Chris Bryant, player of the month. Kyle Hendricks, pitcher of the month in the NL. Fowler, Bryant, Zobrist headline the Southwest starting lineup. Russell, Contreras, Baez in the middle. Caesar, the pitcher, Arrieta, and LaStella 7 through 9.
How about the Gents defensively? And it's brought to you by Arby's. Pretty familiar look. Pagan, Span, Pence in the outfield. Nunez, Crawford, Panic, Belt, third to first. Posey behind the plate. And Alexa starting pitcher is big lefty Madison Bumgarner. 6'5", 250. 13-8 with a 2.49 ERA. That trails only Kyle Hendricks in the National League. On his way to yet another 200-inning season. Makes a habit out of that. League batting .212 against him. He has allowed 21 home runs, 17 of those coming to right-handed batters.
Fowler, batting right-handed, takes a strike. And a fastball at 90.
Big, durable, very competitive is Bumgarner. Got some funky angles, long arm action.
An all-star for the 4th consecutive season.
Run that fastball in on the hands of the right-handed hitters and follow it up with a slow curveball, bury the slider down and in.
He signed a longer-term contract a few years ago that is looking like a ridiculous bargain for the Giants. He's making under $10 million this year, $11.5 next year, and then the Giants have 2 team options at $12 million apiece. Well, that is a lot of money, comparatively speaking. It's a very good rate. And we call it an incredibly team-friendly contract as Nunez gets Fowler.
Yeah, and I think that contract helped them go out and sign Cueto and Samardzija to the big deals they got. They knew they had Bumgarner under control at a reasonable, again, based on the market, the salary. So that gave them some flexibility. There's no salary cap in baseball, but every team has a budget they operate under. No doubt his contract is team friendly.
Chris Bryant launches, but it will be caught by Pagan. Got under it. Player of the month for August, .383, 10 homers, 22 RBIs, an OPS of 1220 for Bryant. Announcement just came down. Kyle Hendricks with a 1.28 ERA, the National League pitcher of the month. Corey Kluber, the American League pitcher of the month. Gary Sanchez, the Yankee rookie catcher, the American League player and rookie of the month. He had 11 home runs. Zobrist batting third with Rizzo out of the lineup today. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's 6 out of 9 against Bumgarner. Belt drops it as that ball ended up on the mound. That's a tough play for an infielder when he's staring up at the sky. He's got to navigate a hill, and that'll be an error on him.
Especially the sky we have here today, man. It is bright overhead. Take a look at what he was dealing with, and he had to track that pop-up for a while on the move. So everybody's converging here. Everybody's showing a willingness to pursue this ball, but nobody really wants it. Belt becomes the default option. Got the big trapper. E3. Each team committing the first inning error.
That would have been an 8-pitch inning for Bumgarner, who has to face Russell. Everybody moving up a spot in the lineup as Soler was scratched with the ingrown toenail. Russell cleaning up. One and one.
He got the big hit, the winning hit the other night, but he's been in a bit of a funk. 3 out of his last 27.
Couldn't hold. And Bumgarner, just for his postseason work alone, has been worth a lot of money for the Giants. He's got 3 World Series rings, and in 2014, NLCS and World Series MVP. Its pitching staff, the Giants pitching staff, 2014 needed 61 innings in the World Series. Bumgarner accounted for 21 of those innings.
Yeah, he's a horse. Yeah, he's a beast. 7-3 with a 2.14 ERA in his career in the postseason.
I'd say 2014, what he did that year in the playoffs was the greatest postseason pitching performance ever. 52 2/3 innings, the most ever, a 1.03 ERA, complete game 4 hit shutout in the wild card game at Pittsburgh. 2 wins, and a 5-inning save in Game 7 of the World Series at Kansas City. And that Game 7 performance came on 2 days of rest. Wow.
And he's only 27. That's the thing that got my attention today. You know, I knew he wasn't an old guy, but he's been around, and they've played so many meaningful games. We've been aware of him for a while. Came to the big leagues at the age of 20 in 2009 after being a first-round pick in 2007 out of high school. He was number 10 overall that year.
Yeah, and he had just turned 20 about a month before his major league debut, September of '09. So already has had to make 6 extra pitches after the belt error. 3-2 action time. Zobrist runs, swing and a miss to end it. So after 1 from Wrigley Field, it's 1-0 San Francisco. A reminder, Cubs baseball on CSN Chicago is presented by State Farm. Each team with an error in the first inning. The Giants ending their club record streak of 17 consecutive scoreless errorless games. As Belt dropped that pop-up. He is on deck. Joe Panic leading off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Kind of ironic that their long errorless streak ends on a little pop up in the middle of the diamond.
Line shot. Caught by Zobrist. It was dipping. Bruce Bochy wants his video guys to take another look.
Yeah, the way Ben pursued that ball, I think he thought he was going to have to cut it off in the gap. Excuse me. Then he makes a late adjustment, comes in, snares it. These Giant hitters, they're going to need therapy the way this is going after all the line outs yesterday. Wow. This turns into an out.
What a catch. He was going to play second and move to right. And Soler was scratched. Now Belt. Yeah, Bruce Bochy said after the game yesterday, there's a bit of luck involved in this game, and we didn't get any of it today. Belt had a really nice first half, was an all-star, but has struggled since the break. And his team has struggled since the break. They had the best record in the majors in the first half, the worst so far here in the second. And he strikes out. How about this? Not only did their errorless streak end on that little pop-up, but if they had gone errorless today, they would have tied the longest in-season errorless streak in the majors since 1913. The New York Yankees in 2009 went 18 in a row. So they were putting together a record streak. Third strikeout for Arrieta.
Yeah, that was a dastardly changeup he threw Belt. That was, in the parlance of the modern player, that was filthy. The nasty factor was off the charts.
One to Nunez. A couple of bounces to Bryant. Arrieta at the bag and a quick 1-2-3. 1-0 Giants on the unearned run early. Availability for tickets during the final homestand of the regular season is the Red Series, September 19th through the 21st. Don't miss your chance to catch a game at beautiful Wrigley Field. Visit Cubs.com to get your tickets today.
3 strikeouts for Jake Arrieta today. The third one comes on this changeup to Brandon Belt. That is just nasty. Circle change, starts on the plate, dips down below off the outside edge. One of the reasons why left-handed batters are only hitting 179 against Jake.
One and nothing on Wilson Contreras. Garner lets the hitter look at the ball, but behind his body. As he then slings it up there. Is low. One other note on August quickly. Trey Turner was the NL Rookie of the month.
My voting was good.
I voted for Ryan Schimpf. He had 45 hits, Trey Turner, in August.
And speed guy's been stealing bases. Been a real catalyst for that Nationals team. They're going to be a handful in the postseason. Whether the Cubs see them or not, it remains to be seen. But that's an outstanding club.
3-1. Now full 3-2. Garner had a couple of rough starts. 5 innings against the Mets, 5 at the Dodgers, 9 runs combined before a 13-4 win over the Atlanta Braves his last time out.
I remember back to spring training, there was all this speculation talking with scouts and other people who had seen Bumgarner out in the Cactus League. Is this guy hurt? I mean, he just couldn't get anybody out. He was all over the place. Apparently, it was just his mechanics were askew.
We saw him in March in Scottsdale. Maybe it was Mesa. Well, it was in Arizona, and yeah, he didn't look like Madison Bumgarner at all that particular day.
Another reason not to believe what you see in spring training.
Back, and this was a weird moment. Working to Jason Hayward. Now Hayward looks out at Dexter Fowler to see if he thought it was a strike or not. Bumgarner thought Hayward was looking at him and was like, dude, why are you looking at me? Hayward said, no. It's just, I'm just asking my teammate if he thought the pitch was a strike. And that was a nationally televised game on ESPN. So a lot was made of it, but in the end it was just a big misunderstanding. No sign stealing or anything dastardly like that. It was just, hey, what'd you think? Was it good? Was it a good pitch? Three and two. Good battle here between Bumgarner and the rookie Contreras. Popped up. Back of the plate. Posey will not have a play.
Guy in the 6th row, however, did. And he's very excited. Now Bumgarner, he doesn't really sink the ball. He's not a ground ball pitcher. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's got 207 of those. Typical start. He'll get more outs in the air than he will on the ground.
Line shot to deep left and over Pagan. It's going to rest on the warning track. Contreras with a leadoff double. Cubs' first hit.
Strong kid. He has such strong hands. Pagan broke on that ball laterally when he needed to retreat. He reaches out and gets through this ball. That's all arms and hands there. Flick of the wrist to the base of the wall.
Well, the Cubs can help their teammate Kyle Hendricks in his bid to win the ERA title by knocking around Bumgarner today. Hendricks starting today at 209. Which is where he'll stay today. Bumgarner 249, second in the majors. So almost a half a run difference. Ball one to Baez. You mentioned Arrieta's 6th. John Lester's 4th. To Baez is fouled out of play. Cubs are 50-19 at home. 9 games over on the road. Bounce to third. Backhanded play by Nunez. Contreras is going to stay at second.
And no real chance there for Contreras to advance.
That's Caesar batting 7th and playing left. Pitcher hitting 8th today. Joe's only done it on a handful of occasions this season after doing it a lot last year. One down the left field line, but foul.
Change up there from Bumgarner. Pitch he doesn't use that often. Usually he'll go to the slow curve. That's his primary off-speed pitch.
There's a sign from Posey. Caesar did not swing. Phil Cuzzy made the call at first.
Bumgarner, a country boy from rural North Carolina. Story goes he bought his wife a cow for a wedding present.
Yeah, they were high school sweethearts. I guess that particular story as he strikes out Caesar is a bit exaggerated. I guess she did want a calf and he bought her one. So it was a gift, but she asked for it. It wasn't like some sort of, hey, honey, I bought you a cow. And actually, it was a bull calf, 5-day-old. Bull calf. Hudson.
Oh, you're going to get all technical on me? Get all animal husbandry?
It's one of those boy calves. Hudson, North Carolina. That's the small town. 90 minutes northwest of Charlotte. Garner says you wave at everybody you see pretty much.
It's my cousin Daryl and my other cousin Daryl. That kind of a program. Well, here we go. This is the matchup. These guys among the best hitting pitchers in the game, among the best pitching pitchers in the game. It's doubly fun.
Just inside, it's 2-1. Jake has homered twice this year. He hit a triple 2 starts ago in San Diego, 2-2. Travis at second, 2 outs, swing and a miss. So Bumgarner wins this matchup. And we head to the 3rd. Bumgarner connecting off Clayton Kershaw. We'll see him do his thing at the plate.
Best Bears coverage in the city with a Pro Bowl lineup that includes Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Alex Brown, Jim Miller, and Dave Wanstead. Next Sunday, as the Bears look to grab a Week 1 win in Houston, get warmed up with Bears Pregame Live, sponsored by Meyer, at 11 a.m. on CSN Chicago. And so it begins. Hey, Cubs will be in Houston. Bears will be in Houston.
I didn't know that. That's an early start. We've got a night game in Houston. A week from Sunday. Strike on Bumgarner, left-handed thrower, right-handed batter. 3 home runs this season, including his second career homer off Clayton Kershaw. He has 14 in his career. Dude can hit. He drove in the only run in the Giants' 1-0 victory against the Cubs on May 22nd, and then he batted for himself at Oakland in June. Yes, an American League game. First time a team intentionally used the pitcher to bat instead of using a DH since the White Sox had Ken Brett in their lineup in 1976. 2-2. Espazio said, yes, we will treat him like a middle of the order hitter today.
Wow. But I treat him as a middle of the order hitter. I treat him as a legit hitter. Go down and away with a heater here. Oop, didn't get it there. Well, yeah, both these guys can stake their claim to the Silver Slugger. Patrick Corbin of the Diamondbacks is batting .319 this year. Jose Fernandez also having a good year with the bat. Those guys would be in play as well. Silver Slugger is voted on by coaches and managers, so it's not just a statistically based award.
Day and age of the great stats we have, I don't know why the Silver Slugger Award at every position isn't just based on some sort of formula instead of voting. .3-2 rolled foul. And that ball hit the foot of Chad Noble, the bullpen catcher, and he did not move an inch. Deflected up into the stands. And the relievers down there are smiling, probably thinking, what in the world are you doing? But that's the game they play.
It's a dangerous game. They're living on the edge down there.
All 4. Leadoff walk to the pitcher. Again, Garner. Dangerous guy up there. So here's Span. The man on.
And that Silver Slugger voting, the managers and coaches are not allowed to vote for guys on their own team.
Span became a Giant in the offseason, a 3-year free agent deal after an injury-plagued campaign with Washington.
Came up with the Twins, had some nice years in Minnesota. Bryant's playing well behind Bumgarner down there at first base. And Span's a pretty good bunter. He's only played a handful of games at first base. Stella's in at third. Seems like the drag bunt might be an option for him to consider. I don't know if he would do it with a strike on him. A lot of guys don't like to bunt once they have a strike. Now he's got 2. No way he's going to bunt now. Just, you know, you got a little out of sorts there walking Bumgarner, but when you just look at the action on Jake's pitches here today, see how tough he is to hit. That changeup we highlighted against Belt, that last slider to Span, that's that lane changer when he's on his game. It is so tough.
Ball and 2 strikes. Contreras calling for a changeup, it appears. Ball gets by. Bumgarner didn't notice. He was walking back to first.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't in the dirt, you know, so much as Wilson pancaked it. By the time he recognized that it squirted by, there was no chance to go.
So if he had waffled it, what would that have done?
Well, only a hitter can waffle it. Catcher can pancake it.
Got it. Three and 2. Bryant still playing behind Bumgarner. And the pitch. He struck him out on a fastball.
Span's going into 50-50 mode here today. Guessing ball. He's punched out twice looking. Two-seam fastball clinging to the inner third of home plate.
The down doubled and scored an unearned run in the first inning. Brewers beat the Pirates last night 1-0. Junior Guerra back off the DL, so he was on a tight pitch count. We are in September. They tied a major league record by using 7 relief pitchers in a 9-inning game. How about that?
Yeah, well, you know, and if you're a manager, unless they change the rules, why not?
High fly to shallow left. Matt Caesar calls it in.
I hope they address that negotiations here with this collective bargaining agreement. Seems to be a lot of people around the game are pushing for change with the September rosters.
Buster Posey struck out in the first.
Giants have 13 relief pitchers listed on their lineup card today. Joe Nathan has joined the club.
That's right. He's back with the Giants. We saw Joe in a Cub uniform earlier this year, made just 3 appearances before he was cut loose and eventually hooked on with the Giants. Made his major league debut in 1999 with San Francisco. On the right field line, Zobrist runs out of room.
Posey closing in on a career high homerless drought. 133 at bats, his longest is 134.
12 on the year. Their team leader is Brandon Belt with 14. Meanwhile, the Orioles have what, 6 guys with 20?
Yeah. Yeah.
Including Mark Trumbo, who hit his major league leading 41st in a win against the Yankees last night.
There are 4 players in Major League Baseball, 4 qualifiers, who have walked more than they have struck out. 3 of them are in this game.
I guess. Posey.
Yep.
Zobrist.
Yep.
Rizzo?
No.
Panic.
Panic. And the 4th would be Bryce Harper.
Almost hit him.
Right on right change up there.
Bounce back to the mound. Arrieta will underhand to Bryant, and that ends the inning. So he works around the leadoff walk to the pitcher. 1-0 Giants in the 3rd.
Of the 3rd, Wednesday, September 21st, Cubs welcome students, alumni, and fans of the Big Ten. Fans who buy tickets through the special group nights page will receive a special edition Cubs scarf in their favorite Big Ten schools' colors. Also, one lucky individual will get a chance to throw out a ceremonial first pitch. For more information, visit Cubs.com/special group nights.
Huge crowd. Marquee matchup. Bumgarner and Arrieta. Tommy La Stella in the 9 spot. Takes a strike on the outside corner. 1-0 Giants. Tommy's error in the 1st gave them an unearned run. Fowler and Bryant also due.
It's going to be an all right-handed hitting lineup for the Cubs today until Soler was scratched with the ingrown toenail. So La Stella has a tough assignment here against this nasty left-hander. You see the problem he presents for a left-handed hitter with that low 3/4 delivery. The way he slings it from appears to be behind you, and then he has the ability to shoot that dart to the outside corner. That number 1, that fastball out of way, that's the toughest pitch. A lot of left-handed hitters will tell you. The breaking ball, you know, if you track it, stays in the zone a little bit longer. guy who's able to throw that fastball down and away, the same-sided hitter, especially with the delivery that Bumgarner has, is troublesome.
Stella strikes out. That's 3 in a row. For Bumgarner. Now Fowler. By the by, have you ever had a nasty ingrown toenail?
I've got all kinds of nasty toes. But I don't know. No, I don't think I've ever had an ingrown toe.
I have. They're incredibly painful, and it sounds like a real minor thing. And I think in the big picture it is. But I saw Soler before the game, and it's clearly not 100% on that particular foot. No need to push it, so he's out of the lineup today. Fowler hits it on the ground. Oh, what a play by Nunez. And he gets him.
Second time Fowler's gone in that direction today. He might want to try somewhere else next time. Good hands, quick feet. Nunez could play shortstop as well. He hasn't hit much since joining the Giants. Slick play.
Bryant, who flied to left his first time, had his 14-game hitting streak come to an end yesterday. Hit .455 during that great streak. Helped him earn Player of the Month in August. 112 runs, leading the majors. Fly ball to center. It's Span to end the inning. We've completed 3. It's 1-0 San Francisco.
One of the longest reigning champs in WWE history. Now Chicago made CM Punk is ready for his highly anticipated UFC debut on September 10th. CSN Chicago's Luke Stuckmeyer takes us behind the scenes from the ring to the octagon. Tune in to Sportsnet Central Wednesday at 10:30.
Oh, and 1 on Hunter Pence. 4th inning, Giants lead 1-0. Strike 2, curveball. Happy 25th birthday to Carl Edwards Jr. Got the save the other night, filling in for Aroldis Chapman. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big friend Frida Love Smith, happy birthday. My wife Pam celebrating a September 3rd birthday.
Oh, wow. Got big plans? Gonna take her to dinner tonight?
Dinner tonight.
Happy birthday, Pam.
Brandon Crawford on August 8th had 7 hits in an extra innings win in Miami. 7 for 8, game tying RBI in the 8th game, winning RBI in the 14th. First player since Rennie Stennett of the Pirates in this ballpark, Wrigley Field, in 1975 to pile up 7 hits in one game. We're just showing you swings because it would take too long to show you all the actual hits. By the way, Stennett, his 7-hit performance, 4,932, the paid crowd here at Wrigley Field back in '75. Hard to wrap your head around that. How popular the Cubs have been in the last couple of decades, but yeah, fills the upper deck at one point with small crowds.
Yeah, and average attendance in baseball overall has grown enormously since the 70s.
Crawford went into that game 6 for his previous 36. The 7 hits set a Giants record. He did it off 6 different pitchers. Stennett did his work in 9 innings. The only other major league player to get 7 hits in a 9-inning game, Wilbert Robinson, for the National League Baltimore Orioles in 1892. The major league record for an extra inning game is 9 hits. Johnny Burnett for Cleveland in a game in 1932 that went 18 innings. You mentioned Panic has walked more than he has struck out. He has the 2nd lowest strikeout rate in baseball, 9.3%. So are we setting up a punch out here? He lined to right his first time, robbed by Zobrist. Well, he makes contact. Zobrist in, and he can't get there. It's a base hit. Just glad Ben didn't get hurt. It was kind of an awkward diving attempt.
First ball was hit better. This time, a soft, sinking line drive, kind of flared out there.
Kind of play you worry about a left wrist. You were telling a story recently, I think about a teammate of yours who had had an offer in a doubleheader. I'm wondering what the worst offer is in a major league.
No, it was John Shelby, T-Bone Shelby,
right. 0 for 10,
took an 0 for 10 in a 22-inning game.
It's got to be pretty close to the record, I would think. Contreras just able to knock it down, but Panic will get second on a wild pitch.
Scoring position opportunity here for Belt, who's been demoted in the batting order. Recent days by Bruce Bochy. Hit 8 here the other night. That's a patient sort. He takes a lot of walks. Usually find him among the league leaders when you look at line drive percentage. So the Giants would prefer he hit the ball out of the ballpark a little bit more often. Played at the University of Texas. We got TCU versus UT here. I don't know if these guys would have faced each other in college. Jake is 30, Belt just shy of 29.
Chance. 3-2. Associate producer Tamara Anderson found an 0 for 11 26 inning game 1920 Charlie Pick of the Boston Braves. That's a tough day. Fouled away. Still 3-2. Nunez on deck.
Beat him with the changeup last time.
Did not swing, so it's a walk, and also on the play, Panic makes third.
Contreras was set up on the outside part of the plate like they were trying to backdoor a breaking ball there, and that thing just had unbelievable movement. What's the action on this pitch?
It's called a pass ball, but that's a wild pitch, right? I mean, how's he supposed to catch that? So they did charge him with a pass ball.
Seems to me, if it's not in the dirt and not really high, they usually rule it a pass ball. But he's, you know, Jake can be a tough handle, man. He, you know, throws hard. He has unbelievable movement. If you're expecting that breaking pitch on one side of the plate and he throws it to the other, that can be a particular challenge. And so here's a situation where a lot of times you might, well, you know, you're up against a tough pitcher. Runs could be at a premium. Let's pitch cautiously to the 8-hole hitter. Well, with Bumgarner on deck, a legitimate hitter, that changes the thinking.
Arrieta's 2-0. Bounce into right. Giants lead 2-0. As Panic scores.
Giants take advantage of an error in the first. In this inning, it's a wild pitch and a pass ball, helping to move Panic along, and he scores on this seeing eye base hit by Nunez. Gets on top of that high fastball, beats it on the ground.
Bumgarner with 2 on. He walked in his first plate appearance. Nothing in 2. Cubs 1-run wins the first 2 games of this series. Giants are 4-12 in 1-run games since the break. Part of the reason why they've struggled, they just haven't been able to pull out the close ones. Still 10 games over, 72 and 62, but they have dropped out of first place. On the ground to the shortstop. Russell will feed Baez at second, and the inning is over. It's now 2-0 San Francisco in the 4th. Join the Cubs season ticket holder waiting list today to claim your spot in our lineup for season tickets. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Lifelong Cub fan Peg Womack celebrating her 81st birthday today, watching on CSN in Moline, Illinois, one of the Quad Cities. Big Anthony Rizzo fan, so hopefully Anthony will be in the game later and come up with a big pinch hit.
Happy birthday, Peg. Shares a birthday with Luis Gonzalez. Spent some time with the Cubs.
I want to welcome all our viewers as well, watching on Kraus Cable in Manhattan, Illinois. Ben Zobrist from Eureka, Illinois, takes a strike. Breaking ball was up a little bit toward the outside, and Zobrist fouled it out of play.
Mentioned it's Carl Edwards' birthday over in the Giant bullpen. Josh Osich also celebrating a birthday today.
Called strike 3. Zobrist wanted to make sure the pitch was a called strike, not on the swing, and I believe it was.
I believe you are correct. Slider settles in at the bottom of the knees.
Russell struck out swinging in the first. Drives one foul to left. Two. 10th overall pick in the 07 draft. Madison Bumgarner.
Madison against Addison.
Yeah, 2 former first-round picks. Russell taken 11th overall 5 years later by the A's. Called strike 3 to ring him up.
Yeah, he's got it going on here today. He follows up that slow curveball with a good heater. So speed you up, slow you down, move it in, move it out. Disco lady. That's paint.
Contreras owns the only Cub hit. Leadoff double in the second, but he never even got the third. Guy's grinding away on the dessert.
Yeah.
The game can wait.
He's probably playing a game. He's like, if I can finish this before the inning ends, the Cubs are going to win. He's willing to take the brain freeze for the W. He's a gamer.
Softly bounced to Nunez, who charges, and the Cubs go down quietly. In the 4th, it's 2-0 Giants.
Field, your Coors Light game report. Chris Bryant, the NL Player of the Month for August, taking over at first base this afternoon. And I recently heard Theo Epstein make the comparison between Chris Bryant and Larry Bird, of all people, in a radio interview. And what Theo meant, going on to explain it, was that as a Boston sports fan, he remembered how Larry Bird would always work on just a couple things in his offseason, and that's kind of how Chris Bryant's been approaching his, cutting down on the strikeouts, a few tweaks in his swing. But I asked Bryant this morning what he thought of that comparison, guys, and he said, wow, I've never gotten that one before. I'm not really digging the short shorts.
Thanks, Kelly.
He's got a good jumper, though.
1-0 on Denard Span. Larry Bird was pretty amazing, wasn't he?
There you go. Step back.
He could do it all.
Baseline jumper, very creative. Get in your face a little bit.
Arrieta's 2-0. Sit on the ground. Foul pass. Former Cub catcher Bill Hayes.
You an NBA guy growing up? Pay attention.
I was, yeah.
Were you a Bucks fan? Just follow the league.
No, I was a Pistons fan growing up in Michigan. But I followed the Bucks when I was in Milwaukee, and now the Bulls. Yeah, during the 80s, though, I mean, that was the heyday. I remember, I was pretty young, watching the NBA Finals on tape delay. Is that possible?
I believe it is.
In the late 70s?
Yeah.
Bird and Magic ending up in, 79, right? The NCAAs, and then we'll go to the NBA, and everything changed. Nice play, Javier Baez.
Well, Span put it in play after striking out looking twice. Baez there to gobble it up.
I will make one suggestion. If fans out there of basketball or sports in general are looking for a good book that came out about 25 years ago, Loose Balls by Terry Pluto, the story of the ABA. It's one of the best books I've ever read. It's an oral history of that league. Great stuff.
Oof. Look at that. Wilson just whiffed on that one. And it speaks to the liveliness of Arrieta's offerings here today.
Sinker missed the outside corner. Thing I did when I was a kid, and the NBA was part of this, I kind of tended to follow the teams that weren't very good. I always had a soft spot for the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors. So I was happy to see the Warriors have all their success here lately, because I remember one of those bad teams way back when.
It's kind of a Nick guy back in the day. He was a little guy, Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe, Willis Reed, that group, Dave DeBuscher.
Up by Pagan, who just angrily slams his bat to the ground, and it's LaStella in foul territory for the out. You can follow, and we suggest you do, Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider all season long, on CSNChicago.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich, serving the community for 38 years. Go to jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Bad bat.
Blame it on the weaponry.
Nasty pitch. That was a slider, wasn't it? Wow. Just a dive bomber. And he gets the ground out to end the inning. 2-0 San Francisco. Cubs trail 2-0. They've won 5 in a row on this homestand, 9 straight here at Wrigley.
Their hands full today with Bumgarner out there. There's 2 base runners so far. Zobrist reaches on an error in the first. Contreras leadoff double in the second.
Strike 2.
Clayton Kershaw scheduled to make a rehab start today for the Dodgers. Class A Rancho Cucamonga Quakes.
And I guess Brett Anderson is also on the DL. Will follow him. 50 pitches scheduled for Kershaw. Jacob deGrom sounds like he's going to miss a start. Forearm soreness. Remember the story he called for the trainer the other day and said, I feel fine, but I guess there was some stiffness. Every day there's a new story about an injured Met. Cardinals lost at Cincinnati last night 3-2. Eugenio Suarez with a game-ending RBI single in the bottom of the ninth. Line drive, base hit. Good start to the Cubs' 5th. See if the bottom of the order can get it done. And Caesar steps in. The Astros last night began a stretch of 13 in a row against division leaders, including the Cubs next weekend. They lost at Texas 10-8. The Astros are now 2-12 against the Rangers. Golfed high in the air to left and on a play foul. Texas with a 9.5 game lead in the American League West. Cubs lead by 16.5 in the Central. Nationals 10.5 ahead of the Mets in the NL East.
So the NL West intriguing for sure, in the American League East. Toronto was 1 game better than Boston. Baltimore 3 games behind the Jays.
Detroit playing well. They've won 4 in a row, but so have the Indians. So still a 4.5 game split in the American League Central. Looking like it's going to be very tough for the Kansas City Royals to get back to the postseason. 4 games out on the wild card and trailing a few teams.
Bumgarner with that quick little step and go. Very difficult to run on. He doesn't do it all the time. But he keeps you guessing. For a big man, he's got a quick delivery. Only been 3 steals against him this year. 5 have been caught. So most guys don't even bother trying to run on Bumgarner. Posey behind the plate. Has thrown out 40%, tops in the league. This tandem really shuts down the running game. Tremendous hustle. Good work by the ball boy down there.
A good angle.
Yep. So he could have let Pagan get it, but he said, no, it's my job. Accountability. That's what we're all about here.
How about the Eugene Emeralds, the Cubs Northwest League affiliate? 54-19. And if they sweep their final series of the regular season at Hillsborough, they'll tie the league record. 57-19 set by Salem Kaiser back in 2007. The M's will play Hillsborough in the playoffs. Runner goes. Good news is Baez is saved. Bad news, Caesar called out on strikes.
Well, there you go. Even with all that about Bumgarner and Posey shutting down the running game, Baez gets a running lead. Just perfectly timed. And despite a pretty good throw by Posey, Baez gets into scoring position.
Here's Arrieta. Another quick note on the Eugene Ball Club. Left-hander Manuel Rondon leads the Northwest League in earned run average at 1.10. Next closest is 3.03. He's leading the ERA title by almost 2 full runs. He's 21, formerly in the Angels system. Cubs got him for catcher Rafael Lopez last year. So a nice under the radar pickup. Bounce toward third, tough play, and Nunez can't make the play. Baez trying to score. Save.
Kid has no fear. Saw it the other night when he turned a double into a triple. This time he sees a loose ball and off he goes. This is great base running. Nunez made a couple very nice plays down there today. Tries to barehand. This one comes up empty.
How about an RBI single on a ball that went, what, 75 feet?
Yeah, it's an RBI single, but it's I'm not going to put it in the books, but it's essentially a steal of home for Baez. He's got this crowd energized.
And here's Soler batting for La Stella. Expanded roster, you can do this in the 5th inning. With the ingrown toenail, I'm sure it's a one and done here for Jorge. Boy, did that play energize this crowd. This big crowd had been pretty quiet with the work of Bumgarner so far.
Yeah, and the nature, right, with the way Baez made that mad dash for home, and reminiscent of Jackie Robinson.
And he strikes him out. It's 8 on the day for Bumgarner.
Nunez wouldn't have been better off trying to glove that ball. But that's neither here nor there. Cub fans, Joe Madden wants you to own his car. How about that? Joe is raffling off his signature vehicle for charity. Raffle tickets are $100 each and are available in fan services during all remaining home games or at 3721 North Clark Street. For details, check out Cubs.com/Joe's raffle.
Fowler has grounded out twice to third and swings away and fouls.
I guess one of the things that would be available at that website is exactly what kind of vehicle it is.
Bumgarner wanted that one.
2-3 steps towards the dugout. Just freezes in place. But it was off the plate.
At first is Arrieta, and he just about got picked off.
A balk
call. Bumgarner just waves off Phil Cuzzi. Well, he disagrees.
I'm wondering why he's even going to first base with Arrieta there. Got 2 strikes on the hitter. I think what Cuzzi's arguing is that he broke the plane of the rubber when he brought his leg up. Your front leg cannot pass the front of the rubber. Man, it did. I mean, you can't throw to first base after your foot crosses the plane of the rubber.
So Bumgarner strikes out Fowler to get out of the inning, but what a hustle and what a read by Javier Baez. And the Cubs steal a run. It's 2-1 now after 5. Team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. So we're kind of back to the original alignment before Jorge Soler was scratched with the ingrown toenail. Well enough to play some defense today after pinch hitting. So Caesar goes from left to right. That'll get Zobrist closer to home plate. He'll play second. And Baez goes over to third. One-run ball game, 6th inning. Pence, Crawford, Hannick. Astros had the killer bees. Now the Giants, Pagan, Hannick, Pence, Posey, Jarrett Parker also on their bench.
You got a catchy nickname for him?
No, I don't. I was just throwing it out there for you, if you had anything.
No, I got nothing. I was thinking of that earlier.
The Astros, I was looking at their roster. They've got a Gonzalez. They had a Gomez. He's now with Texas. They've got a Gurriel. It's a strike. They've got a Gregerson. They've got a Giles. So they've gone from the killer B's to the killer G's. Slider is hit on the ground to Russell. Not a good throw, but Bryant got a good bounce.
Addison just wants to make sure that Chris gets the full first base experience today. Always moving through the baseball, staying low. Not a good throw. Chance for Bryant to show off his first base chops there with a pick.
I don't want to forget Evan Gattis, too.
Sandlot slugger.
Yeah. Yep.
So being Houston, the space program, so the G-force could be the G-force.
Okay. I like it. Lined into left center. Crawford has his second hit of the series.
Well, Panic noted last time up. He's got the best strikeout rate, lowest strikeout rate in the game. So hit and run may be in play here. The thing about the Giants, they don't slug, but they got guys with some power, up and down the lineup. Most guys double-digit home run hitters. They don't steal a lot of bases, but just about everybody capable of getting the bag from time to time. Seems to be when they try, they're successful. Posey 6 for 6, Crawford's 4 for 4, Panic's 5 for 5, stolen base attempts.
Arrieta looking for his NL leading 17th win. 22 last year. He had the NL Cy Young Award. One and two. Average lead by Crawford. Not running. Up and away, 2-2.
This is where Contreras has to be careful. Make sure you hold your ground back there behind the plate. 2-strike count. You know, if Crawford takes an aggressive secondary lead, bluffs, you know, sometimes the catcher will read that as he's going. He'll come out of his crouch early and cost the pitcher a potential strike 3. The change of it almost looked like a knuckleball the way it moved at the end. Circle change. Got under a little bit, left it up in the zone.
Yeah, fluttered.
Yeah. Speaking of knuckleballs, there's a new knuckleballer in the game. The Rays called up a kid by the name, not a kid, he's 31 years old. Gamboa is the name. A 31-year-old rookie. Yeah, it's with the Rays because he's the oldest rookie since the rookie, Jim Morris, the guy they made the movie about.
Runner takes off, panic swings and misses, but nobody at the bag. Russell knocks it down. Two outs in the inning.
Somebody messed up the coverage. Somebody should have had the bag there. Wasn't able to get a piece of it, and no further advance for Crawford. So he gets his 5th stolen base.
Eddie Gamboa.
Eddie Gamboa, yeah. The thing, you know, most guys that get to the big leagues at 30, 31, they got a very short window. But a knuckleballer, he could pitch 10 years in the big leagues.
Their pitching coordinator is Charlie Hager, former knuckleballer.
They do tend to stick together.
Gamboa spent, let's see, 2 days with the Orioles. 2005, did not pitch. But he got big league meal money.
He was in the show, Moonlight Graham.
To Belt, swing and a miss.
Mentioned when Belt first came up that he walks a fair bit. He also strikes out. He's done both of that here today. Had Arrieta fallen behind him, probably pitch very carefully. Whoop, there he goes.
Crawford just stole third, and by the time Arrieta knew he was on the move, he was basically on third.
Combination, you know, Jake looking in for the sign and Crawford knowing that Baez had a long way to go to cover third base. He decides to be aggressive there. And, you know, normally you think not much of an advantage, but Jake throws that breaking ball in the dirt a lot.
Gets away and Crawford will score. That was just going to say, you know, Baez so far off the line really allowed Crawford to get that big lead in third. And I was thinking he might try to steal home. Although with 2 strikes would be tough. A wild pitch, and the Giants lead by 2 again.
And again, so normally, you know, the steal of third with 2 outs is a play you question. Boy, you got to make sure you can beat it, and it's a high-risk play. But with a guy who throws that breaking ball in the dirt as much as Jake does, it pays off.
Base running, right? Baez stole a run, and Crawford does it right back.
Time for our Xfinity high-speed action. Boldness pays off today. First Baez, little infield single, never stopped rounding third. Dashes home to beat the throw from Crawford, and then after the brazen steal of third, Crawford scores on the wild pitch.
Chris Bryant fouls upstairs. 3-1 Giants in the 6th.
And that's, you know, when you get a couple of frontline pitchers, it's kind of like a postseason game. Very talented starting pitchers. Sometimes it's, you know, who makes the big play on the bases or a critical mistake in the field. Giants taking advantage of Cubs miscues for sure today. Unearned run in the first. Wild pitch, pass ball contributing in the fourth. Wild pitch in the sixth.
Could be the end of the road for Arrieta. He's at 103 pitches through 6 as Cahill is up. Cubs needed no bullpen yesterday as John Lester went the distance. Side.
Happy birthday, Matthew.
Yeah. You can check at least a couple of the things off that list. Served into center, and Bryant's got his first hit. Zobrist reached on an error in the first inning, caught looking in the fourth. SFN has come as advertised. He's got an 824 OPS. He's walked 78 times, has struck out just 71 times now. An all-star for the 3rd time. Ground ball to 3rd. Nunez to 2nd for 1. Relay late. And we get 1 out.
Busy day down there for Nunez. Tries to start the around the horn double play. Also by Zobers to make sure it doesn't happen.
The only question when Ben signed the 4-year, $56 million contract was his age, right? Some people said, well, that's a lot of years to give a guy who's going to be 35. I think when you look at what he does well, while it may limit his range defensively in a couple of years, the ability to take a walk, he's just a really smart player. I think he and is and should continue to age well.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's going to be value there even at an advanced age as a part-time player, even if he's not getting as many at-bats. See Bumgarner there being very deliberate with his pickoff throw that time.
Grimm has joined Cahill. Mr. Strode in between. And then the scouting report on hitters they may face.
Looking at Phil Cuzzy saying, is that good enough for you? Now
back our way, 2-2.
Gardner 98 and 66 in his big league career. ERA 2.96. Year in, year out gives them 200 innings or more.
Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. And I guess it hit Russell on the foot.
Literally a back foot breaking ball. Whatever it takes on a day like today.
Good at bats by Contreras. Robbed by Nunez in the 4th after he doubled in the 2nd. Off the outside. Garner visibly questioning that call by Dan Bellino. Now he's hearing it from the Giants dugout.
Our pitch tracks is accurate. It wasn't particularly close.
I think Posey's really good at framing. He's fooling his own pitcher. Bounce to third, foul.
Well, you tend to beg a little bit more when all of a sudden there's a couple guys on and one in scoring position. Perception gets skewed somewhat.
Guessing you were not too proud to beg.
No, 2 outs, nobody on. You don't even bat an eye at that. You know, you throw it. Okay, I missed. A couple guys on base, and you throw that pitch. It's like, you got to be kidding me.
Golf to right. Pence on the move. It's going to drop. It's fair. And everybody will only be able to advance one. They're loaded. Ben Zobrist, I can tell he's upset with himself. He did not get a great read on that, but
well, I don't know that you can get a great read on that one, because I thought this ball should have been caught. Pence, he did a whole lot of lateral and not much in. He plays very deep to begin with. When it left the bat, it looked like a play a right fielder might make. But again, Pence, his position, initial positioning certainly factored into it. And what a big chance for Baez.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Cubs down 2. Another one to right. Pence racing over. Foul ground. He makes a catch. Here comes the throw toward the plate. Zobrist is in. 3-2 on a sacrifice fly. Pence almost overran that ball. And it was called a foul catch, but the ball almost drifted back toward fair territory.
Yeah, with the wind, the bullpen, the wall, there's a lot to contemplate, and his feet slide a little bit on him as well. He made a play the other day. I think it was in San Francisco. Laying on his back when he made the catch. Baez with an RBI on the sac fly.
And everybody tagged, so second and third for Caesar. That's the other question. Should Pence have thrown to second?
He wasn't going to get the man at home.
That's a good read by the back runners, Russell and Contreras. 3-0-1. High. 1 ball, 1 strike. Anthony Rizzo is on deck for Arrieta. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Try it once more. One-run ball game. Two. Another foul.
Working away, working up. Down and in breaking ball here. Caesar struck out twice so far today.
Garner at 100 pitches. The bullpen's still quiet. It's packed down there in right, but they're all sitting.
Be a little hesitant to bury that breaking ball down in the dirt and run the risk of the Cubs scoring a run on a wild pitch.
Everything in this sequence has been middle up. That one in. 3-2. First base open, but Anthony Rizzo on deck. The pitch. In the air to left, and the wind will make sure it gets to the seats.
Nothing else this inning is going to force Bruce Bochy to use his bullpen a little bit more than he might like today.
Another 3-2, swing and a miss. And the inning comes to an end. The Cubs get a run right back, though, on the sac fly by Baez. 3-2 as we head to the 7th. Good ball game here today. We expected the pitchers to be the story. Follow in-game live on CSNChicago.com, presented by State Farm. Got some changes for the Cubs here in the 7th. Sinker baller Trevor Cahill is in for Arrieta.
Trevor 3-4 with a 278. The 8-9-1 spots due up here for the Giants.
Caesar goes back to left. Soler is out. Jason Hayward into play right. And Hayward will lead off the 7th. He's in the 8th spot. A strike on Eduardo Nunez.
Parker out on deck for the Giants to hit for Bumgarner. There's Caesar in left. Arrieta, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. A couple of walks, 7 strikeouts.
Two starting pitchers going 6 innings. Both allowing 2 earned runs. The difference, an unearned run the Giants got in the first inning. Veteran southpaw Javier Lopez. He was the active leader in World Series rings with 4. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Cub fans, you can book your stay now at the Sheraton Grand Chicago for the 2017 Cubs convention. All reservations come with convention passes built right into the hotel package. For details and reservations, go to cubs.com/convention.
If you're an indie film fan, they've got Parker Posey in their lineup now. There's Jarrett. Parker's his last name. Buster Posey. Parker Posey. Or Buster Jarrett, if you prefer. I don't know if he's an actor.
Who's Parker Posey?
Parker Posey is a fine actress. You ever see the Christopher Guest movies? Best in Show.
It's Best in Show.
She's in that.
I'm going to go to the Google machine here.
You'll recognize her. One and 2 on the pinch hitter. Virginia native. Two and 2. Christopher Guest has a new film coming out about mascots, kind of in the Best in Show vein. Yes.
Yeah. Changeup. He's been using that pitch a lot.
Hayward stays on his feet and makes the grab. Span with 2 outs. And a strike call. Rick Sutcliffe will sing the stretch.
He's going through his vocal exercises as we speak.
For Cy Young Award winner.
Usually think down with Cahill, but working the top of the zone there. There's Sut, ready to go.
Nothing and 2 to Span, and he asks for time. Pagana's on deck. Still 1-2. Tonight, Major League Soccer returns to CSN Plus as the Fire look for 3 points in Bridgeview against the Philadelphia Union. Coverage begins at 7 on CSN Plus. Underway in Arlington, Astros and Rangers tied at 1, bottom of the second, and same frame in Cincinnati. Cardinals with an early run, 1-0 over the Reds. Cardinals have homered in a club record 21 consecutive games going into today. And Jed Jerko makes it 22. His 25th.
Wow. He might be the comeback player of the year.
Ground ball to second. Zobrist scoops. Inning over. Mazda's 7th inning stretch time with Rick Sutcliffe.
Today's guest conductor for taking me out to the ball game, Cubs great Rick Sutcliffe.
Sweet home Chicago. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ball. Buy me some peanuts and crackers. I don't care if I ever get back. For it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's fun at the old ball game. It's a run.
Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile, the updated West and wild card standings. And that really does give you an idea of how big these games are for the Giants, leading the wild card, and they still think they could win their division. And they have led that division for much of the year, but not since August 20th. Javier Lopez against Jason Hayward as we start the Cubs 7th, strike 1.
Lefty specialist, a true loogie. See, 56 games, but only 22 1/3 innings of work.
Blowing inside on Hayward, just into the game. Came into play right in the top of the inning. Lopez owns World Series rings with Boston from 07, 10, 12, 14 with the Giants. And the only World Series among those 4 he did not appear in was 2012, but he did make 5 appearances earlier that postseason.
Sinkers, cutters, a little slider, and a changeup.
Bounce past the mound. Panic. Gets rid of it quickly. And Hayward is out. David Ross will pinch hit. Cahill.
This is a matchup of a couple of salty veterans.
Both 39 years old. David a few months older than Lopez. Swing and a miss. Was drafted in 1998. Ross, a 7th rounder of the Dodgers. Shallow right, and Pence will not get there.
He didn't see it. Maybe that's what was going on with that other ball too. Very late to react on this one. I just don't think he saw it off the bat. That coupled with the fact that he's so deep to begin with, and it's a knock for David Ross.
And Bruce Bochy will make a move. 3-2 Giants in the 7th.
Postseason push is with MLB.com. It's actually with the MLB.com at-bat app, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Get MLB.com at-bat on your favorite devices now.
And it's time for the Midas Tire and Auto Service call to the pen. Right-hander Hunter Strickland. Runner at first. 1 out, facing Dexter Fowler. 1-run ball game.
Power arm. Reach 100 miles an hour with that heater.
The outside corner. It's 2-0.
And as I have noted on an almost daily basis here lately, Dexter Fowler hitting for a very high average against high octane fastballs. He likes the cheese.
Pops it up, shallow center. Crawford gets out there quickly and makes the catch. 2 outs.
Didn't get that cheese. That cheese got in on his hands.
Chris Bryant playing first base today for Rizzo. 1 for 3. Average steady at 305. Ross, the runner at first. 2 down, the pitch. He pops it up and to the seats behind the first base dugout.
Strickland worked in game 1 of this series. Allowed a hit and a walk. Both those men came around to score, so charged with 2 earned runs without recording an out.
Speaking of that first base dugout, 6'3" Bruce Bochy, first day in, banged his head on the ceiling in that very tight dugout. He said the over-under is about 10 to do that in this 4-game series. 0-2, 99 from Strickland.
Boat should wear a helmet in there. I guarantee you this, he didn't bump his head jumping up in excitement.
No,
so
he's
very
calm.
Smooth operator.
Charday. 0-2, base hit. Ross to second. Here comes Zobrist.
Now do you think about pinch running for David Ross?
That conversation's being had between Joe Madden and Dave Martinez. Tying run in scoring position with 2 outs. Ball 1. Off the plate, 2-0. Kyle Schwarber rehabbing from his knee surgery. Will not be able to return this year. Kind of reduced to being a cheerleader while in uniform. But, we normally see him right where he's sitting right now.
And Ross doing a real good job getting an aggressive lead, a good secondary out there. He's got a chance to score on a base hit. The options would be Coughlin. Probably not going to run Travis Wood unless you knew you weren't going to use him as a pitcher. So Rossi stays in the game. And Phillips has an advantageous count.
Brighetti to the mound. Strickland has faced now 5 batters in this series, and 4 have reached against him.
Talk a lot about his approach at the plate, how disciplined, and he doesn't let the big moments get to him. Keeps that same approach regardless of the game situation. A lot of guys going to get anxious there, 3-1. Maybe get a little too aggressive, go out of the zone. He was willing to take his walk. But even if it's strike 2, you like his chances on 3-2. And in that situation on 3-2, now you're moving with the pitch if you're the base runners, and makes it that much easier for Ross to score on a base hit had that scenario played out.
Russell hasn't put a ball in play yet. 2 strikeouts and then hit by a pitch. Man, with 88 knocked in, takes a strike. Bases loaded. Cubs down 1. Late innings.
Even when he's scuffling a little bit, you like Russell in these situations. He's been so good.
Wind grabs it and makes it a foul ball. It's Thursday night, 7th inning. Cubs down a run, just like they are today. Didn't hit it very hard, placed it well, knocked in 2. And that would be the game-winning hit.
Pretty good swing at 99.
Interesting how we ooh and ah when we see triple digits, but we don't even bat an eye at 98, 99 anymore.
Yeah, once you've been around Chapman a little bit, say, well, we don't have 104. We're not going to get too excited.
Well to right, but hit too well all the way out to Pence, and the Cubs leave the bases loaded in the 7th, trailing 1-0.
The Cubs suggest taking public transportation. They offer a free bike check. It's located by the Addison Red Line station. If you drive, the Cubs provide free remote parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. For information, visit the A to Z guide at Cubs.com. Justin Grimm for the 58th time. He was 1-0 with a 377 earned run average. He's been on a good roll for an extended period of time. Last 22 appearances, 1 earned run covering 18 2/3 innings. That's an 0.48 earned run average. During that time, he has struck out 26. Cahill, 3 up, 3 down in his 1 inning of work.
Switch hitting bat, Pagan from the left side this time. Pagan, Posey, Pence. And a called strike.
Still haven't come up with a clever line for all these P's. Goober P's, split P's.
And 1 the count. Giants lead 3-2. Cubs have won 6 in a row here at Wrigley against the Giants. First time they've done that since 1963.
Good pitching matchup tomorrow as well. John Lackey returns to the Cubs rotation tomorrow. And Johnny Cueto will pitch for the Giants.
Contreras slides toward the outside. 2-2 fastball is fought off foul. Well, with Giants, you hear the G-men, so I was thinking something with PG related. I don't know. They have 13 guys with the last name starting with P. Be perfect. Oh, we got a
wardrobe malfunction.
We're going to go beltless. Sansabelt. Justin was going to pitch without one, but they found a new belt. Too bad Brandon Belt's not batting.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
Man, that's like next level preparation to have a belt available. We've got an extra belt laying around the dugout.
By the way,
somebody must have peeled theirs off.
There was a bench clearing brawl the Cubs were involved in a few years ago. For the life of me, and I know someone will remember on Twitter, I'm sure, Carlos Zambrano came out of the dugout and he had his belt in his hand, and at the time, as Pagan hits it in the air to center, Fowler's circling. And he makes a catch. A lot of people saying, man, he brought his belt out, you know, like a weapon. Well, he was putting his uniform on and he didn't have his belt on, so that's why he had it in his hand. He was trying to make sure his pants stayed up.
Why? So this was
probably 5-6 years ago. I remember seeing him come out of the dugout with his belt and go, what in the world is going on? But yeah, he was putting his belt on.
It's an odd time to be putting your belt on.
Hayward retires Posey. I don't know if it was the Derek Lee, Chris Young matchup with the Padres.
There was that shot that went viral earlier this year when Pablo Sandoval blew his belt out in Boston.
0-1. Pence couldn't hold up. 1-1. Sergio Romo getting ready for the bottom of the 8th. Oldest Chapman not available the last couple of days, but stretching out. Two and two.
Herm and Pence are kind of beard brothers, aren't they? A couple of mountain men doing battle here.
Ground ball to the left side. Baez gets him. Game with a 1-2-3-8. Still 3-2. Romo. See a lot of sliders.
Yeah, 2/3 of the time you're going to see a slider from Romo if he stays true to form.
Bunted foul by Contreras. To San Francisco in the bottom of the 8th.
Romo does throw a fastball. It's usually a sinker. He's not a hard thrower. 86, 88 miles an hour with the fastball. And occasionally a changeup. But the hitters will be thinking slider when they step in there against Romo. Some of those guys, it's just very difficult to pick up the spin on his slider. Hitter sees fastball, and next thing you know, it's taking a sharp turn.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Contreras upset with himself. DraftKings Fantasy Sports Zone, located on the corner of Addison and Sheffield, is your game day headquarters. Open hours before the game. The DraftKings Fantasy Sports Zone has large outdoor space, features live music, and the fully stocked signature Captain Morgan bar. Come out and enjoy this unique experience. Plus, fans with tickets have direct access to Wrigley Field. For more information, visit DraftKingsWrigley.com. By the way, who could stay up longer, Wilson Contreras or Hunter Pence?
Ooh,
put them in a room and
yeah.
said whoever falls asleep first loses. Take like 5 days.
I know what contest they would not win.
What's that?
Seen that deal where people they put their hand on the car and the last one to have contact with it wins the car? They'd be out of there in no time.
Other things to do.
Yeah.
The 1-1 to Baez. Swing and a miss. Sliders City. That one cued on the ground. Romo didn't beat him. Baez head first slide, and Romo very awkwardly into the bag. What hustle again.
Yeah, both guys selling out. Javi risking a jammed finger or wrist. Romo, possible ankle. A late slide into the bag. You see the race. Wow.
That's
wow,
close.
They're going to challenge this.
So the Giants are going to challenge, and they...
What you're talking about?
Okay.
Two guys giving it up to try to make a play. Wow.
Forsythe Technology replay review.
It looks like the foot beat the hand by the narrowest of margins.
How about just the pitch? Baez, I think, hit that ball right off the end of the bat, and it was spinning in a funky manner out to the first baseman. He really went down to get this slider. And because he had to lunge for the ball, that kind of helped him right on his way to first.
Yeah, had a little momentum coming out of the box.
Romo is fortunate to be okay.
Yeah, you can usually see ankle or knee there.
Great effort both ways. Rizzo was going to bat, but now it'll be Chris Coghlan after Baez was called out. Here's Bochy to the mound. He wants Will Smith. Fresh Prince coming on. We'll be back.
on CSN comes to you Tuesday night from Milwaukee. Cubs face Ryan Braun and the Brew Crew. Coverage starts at 6:30 with Cubs pregame live, presented by Fields Auto on CSN Plus.
How about the fact that there was a possibility that promo could have read Yasiel Puig in the Milwaukee Brewers? Time for the Midas Tire and Auto Service call to the pen.
Well, here comes the veteran left-hander Will Smith. Speaking of Brewers, former Brewer, current Giant, 1-4, 4.18. This is his 42nd appearance. He likes his slider too, not as much as Romo. That was curveball.
One. Ken Rosenthal reported that the Brewers had claimed Puig, and they and the Dodgers had some conversations involving Ryan Braun. It will never happen. Strike two, 1-2.
Yeah, they couldn't work out a deal. So Puig remains a Dodger, and he's up with a big club now, and he got a couple hits in their ball game yesterday.
I tell you, if you're the Cubs or the Giants or any other playoff contender, you're probably happy that deal didn't happen. I think Dodgers getting Ryan Braun,
yeah,
that
makes him a
would
lot
be
better.
a little scary. Two, and it's a full count now on Coughlin.
Yeah, well, you know, two scenarios there. One, they get Braun, one of the more talented hitters in the league, and then they don't, but they call up Puig, and if Puig can provide some production, they need some help against left-handed pitching.
Coughlin draws the walk. And Jason Hayward, who grounded out in his first plate appearance after coming in to play right in the seventh. Wood and Chapman in the Cubs bullpen. Rizzo on deck if this inning continues. And a miss, 2 strikes. Cubs out hitting the Giants 7-4. Trailing where it counts the most, 3-2. Coughlin runs and Hayward fouls. Another 0-2, foul tip, strike 3. That will take us to the 9th. Travis Wood will pitch. 3-2 Giants. To left. Anthony Rizzo did not start today. Is in there now playing first. Travis Wood will pitch.
The 4-0 with a 335 earned run average. He'll go into the 7th spot in the batting order. Rizzo 9. Crawford, who been a real difference maker in this game for the Giants, will lead off. Single, stole a couple of bases, and scored on a wild pitch.
Terrific two-way player, Brandon Crawford. Lefty to lefty and a fastball. Good spot. That's where you make all your money, right? Those fastballs, lower, outside corner.
Yeah, sometimes pitchers are guilty of overthinking it. Command the corners, keep the ball down around the knees. It's half the battle. Talk about pitching away from slugging. Give up some base hits down there, but not much else.
Two on Crawford. Panic is on deck. Good spot to drop a left-handed pitcher in as part of the order. Ground ball to Russell.
Cubs have had 4 different players play multiple positions in this game. Baez has played second and third. Zobrist has played right and second. Caesar's played left and right. Bryant has played first and left.
First pitch swinging, deep drive to center. On the back pedal, Fowler grabs it on the dirt. And it gave it a ride, but it's an out. 2 away, and as we look to the bottom of the ninth, Santiago Casilla is the Giants closer. Rizzo, Fowler, Bryant due. Starters are still the pitcher of record. And the 1-0 to Belt. And a chance for Fowler. This time over toward left center in front of the track. Quick 1-2-3 for Wood. Last chance. Bottom 9. 3-2 Giants. Tomorrow, final game of the homestand, and then back to the road for a 3-city trip starting in Milwaukee on Labor Day. Will Smith, who finished the 8th, will start the 9th as he'll face Anthony Rizzo, and then I would imagine Bruce Bochy will go to his closer.
Continues to ready down there in the Giant bullpen. Anthony is 4 out of 11 in his career against Will Smith. A couple of doubles and a home run. Not a huge sample, but enough to give Rizzo a sense of confidence stepping into the box against him.
Crawford playing almost behind second. Panic out in shallow right. And ball 1.
Maybe more importantly, to give Smith a little doubt in his mind as he faces Rizzo here.
Here's the other question for the JD. It's 2-0. For Will Smith and Bruce Bochy let you start this inning, you pretty much know this is a one and done, right? Your job's to get him out, not to pitch around him.
Well, it's to pitch smart, though. It's
right.
to, you know, you've got a 1-run lead. You hate to walk him, but you don't want to throw him a cookie and watch him circle the bases either.
Three balls, no strikes. pitch. Ball for Smith.
Yeah, Smith and Posey both. And you see it time and time again. Tough to get that inside corner call to Anthony.
Bochy having words for Dan Bellino as he walks toward the mound to make the call to the pen. Pretty good pitch, but borderline. And that can go either way. So 9th inning, the tying run is on base. And we'll be right back. This tire and auto service call to the pen. It is Santiago Casilla looking for his 30th save. This is his 53rd appearance. Dexter Fowler. Ball one.
Posey coming out of his crouch, sprinting out to the mound. He's coming out of his crouch as that pitcher's getting to home plate. Message delivered to Casilla, who for a time was the caddy setting up Romo, and now those roles have reversed here. Last couple of seasons, 38 saves last year for Casilla, 29 out of 35 this year. Bullpen core who joined the Giants 2010, started his career with the Athletics.
The 1-1 bunted toward third. It's a fair ball. There's a big turnaround second, and he's going to be out. Joe Panic nailed him. 2 down.
Yeah, well, you could see it developing. Anthony with an aggressive turnaround second as Nunez came in to field that bunt, thinking that maybe he would sprint over to third base, realized that wasn't going to be a winning play, and by that time he had drifted too far off of second. Things turned out rosy for the Giants there. Initially, I thought it was a mistake by Nunez to make a play on the ball. I thought the play might have been to let that thing roll foul.
2 outs, nobody on, and it's Bryant. Hefty home run leaderboard. Arenado and Bryant have been jockeying for position in the last couple of weeks, tied Top the NL board with 36.
Well, if you're keeping a scorecard, Fowler should be credited with a sacrifice there.
He was. Yep. Bryant breaks his bat on a pop-up to short. Crawford the catch, and the Giants escape. And the Cubs lose for the first time on this homestand, and for the first time at home in their last 10 tries. Every game in this series has been a one-run decision, and the Giants grab Game 3.
Yeah, we anticipated an outstanding pitching matchup here today. Neither guy was able to go that deep into the ballgame. Arrieta and Bumgarner both lasting 6 innings, but a well-pitched, well-fought ball game, and little plays really told the difference in this game. Passed balls, wild pitch, the aggressive base running by Crawford, and the last best chance for the Cubs goes by the boards when Anthony got too aggressive, rounding second.
Toast of the game is presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. Madison Bumgarner, a little better than Jake Arrieta. They both went 6, gave up 2 earned runs apiece, but it was that extra run, the unearned run, the Giants scored in the first, that was the difference. So Bumgarner gets his 14th win.
And he goes to 14-8. And with the loss, Jake Arrieta falls to 16-6.
Binny's is the official champagne provider of the Cubs. We're back with you, CSN Plus, for Game 2 of the upcoming series against Milwaukee. That's at Miller Park, 6:30 for our pregame coverage. Stay tuned. We've got Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live coming up next. Final score once again, Giants 3, Cubs 2.